So if this is your first time going through registration, it can be a very intimidating process. So I want to give you a few tips for first-timer registrants for our courses. The first is there's some vocabulary that's worth knowing. It's in the orientation document, so I, again, recommend reading that. But to talk about a couple of things real quick, you'll hear the term time ticket thrown around. Time ticket is that there is a registration window for the entire institute, but at some point during that window is your particular time ticket. So the registration window is when anyone might be able to register. Your time ticket is when you particularly can start to register, and you can start registering starting with your time ticket through the end of registration, which usually is the end of the first week of courses. So that's the time during which you can register. You don't need to pay too much attention to when the overall registration window is, except that that'll tell you when you can get your time ticket. What really matters to you is when your time ticket is, because that tells you when you can actually start registering. A waitlist is for all of our classes. We have a waitlist built into the system. The waitlist is basically the class is full right now, but when a spot becomes open, the people on the waitlist are the ones who get the first notification. It goes in priority. And our videos will show you how you can check the waitlist and check your spot on it. So the way it'll work is that if there's a class that you want to get into that is currently full, you'll join the waitlist. Either over time, people will drop from the class, and so you can jump in anytime before the end of that first week, or we'll open up more seats in that class, and when that happens, the first 50 or 100 people on the wait list will all get the notification all at once, and then they can all go and register. So that's the way the wait list works. During this period, it's very important that you check your Georgia Tech email once every 12 hours, because that's how often the wait list notifications can go out. Once you get your notification, you have 12 hours to register, and so just make sure to check it every morning, every evening. If you do that, you'll be fine. You'll know that you got it. When we open up seats, it'll usually be during normal working hours. But if it's a seat opening up because a couple classmates dropped or something like that, then that could come at any time of day. So that's why it's important to check every morning and every evening. Add drop is what the term we use to refer to this period where you can freely add and drop courses. If you drop a course, it doesn't appear on your transcript anywhere, as long as you drop from it by the end of registration, which is usually the end of the first week of class. If you want to withdraw from a course after the end of the first week of class, you can do that. It goes down in your transcript as a W for withdraw, and that's no big deal, but it does mean that you're not able to then add another course after the end of that period. So add drop refers to this period from sometime before the semester starts until the last Friday of registration usually, or the last Friday of the first week usually, when you can add or drop any course. So that's the vocabulary that you need to know. A couple just tips for first timers. We know waitlists are intimidating. We are constantly juggling the fact that our courses are capped by TA availability, and to know how many TAs to hire, we need to know how many students want to enroll. And so we are often going back and forth looking for where students want to enroll and hiring TAs and letting people in. So it's kind of a chicken and egg problem. It goes back and forth. So don't worry too much about the fact that when you first get started, all classes might look full. They will expand. You can look back at historical enrollment patterns. You can actually look up enrollment numbers from any previous semester and find out how many students have gotten into different courses over time. So don't worry about that. Do pay attention to the emails from the advisors, because they'll tell you when a course has reached its maximum capacity. They'll say, we don't anticipate adding any more seats to this course. And so if I'm fifth on the wait list, there's probably a pretty good chance 5 people might drop from that course. If I'm 500th on the wait list, probably not a great chance. I should go find something else to take for this semester. We do have some courses every semester that fill up very fast and that first-time students have difficulty getting into. A couple of those are predictable, and then every semester there's some course that, for whatever reason, a lot of people want to take that course that semester. It's kind of unpredictable. As you go through the program, you get earlier and earlier registration priority, and so once you're here for a couple semesters, you'll usually get the course that you want, with a couple exceptions that tend to fill up very, very quickly. So don't fret too much about that, and don't defer just because you didn't get the course you wanted your very first semester, because you'll have the same priority next semester. So you kind of have to register for a couple classes, get a couple classes under your belt, and then you'll get the earlier registration priority that you need to get whatever class that you want. So most importantly, pay attention to your email, pay attention to your time ticket, try to register as soon as your time ticket opens, because that puts you ahead of the people who might have lower registration, lower priority, and try not to fret. Every semester, if you look at our social media and things like that, the registration period is chaotic and people freak out, and then everyone always notes at the end, everything kind of worked out. And so we promise it'll kind of work out. The process to get there can be a bit chaotic, but always works out in the end.